they did it so well, where you can see the muscles and the tissues and like just down to all
Flayed and filleted.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hello and welcome to Library Grindhouse. The only thing you need is your library card. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah, and today we'll be giving you our top 5 reasons why to watch the 2016 movie, The Void.
All right, Leah, but first, if you can, why don't you hit them with that spoiler-free plot summary?
Creepy hooded cult figures trap a police officer and medical staff and patients, along with 2 rough and tumble, are they good guys or are they bad guys, into a small rundown hospital, where there could be a portal or gateway to an evil, otherworldly plane of existence? Question mark?
Okay, Leah,
Yes.
well, what's number 5 on your list of reasons to watch this particular film? That was good.
The best I could try and do.
All right.
So, my number 5 reason, did you enjoy Squid Games? Because I know I did. And these creepy figures kind of have that same, triangle right on the face, similar costuming, but they're creepier. These, just the people, the cult who just stand outside the hospital in the shadows, they're like half cast in darkness, and all of a sudden the asynchronous knife blade turning. It was creepy. They're just creepy.
Yeah, synchronized knife work.
They're creepy. Yeah, synchronized knife work is never a good thing. Always creepy.
No, especially when it's like, can they even see all those things?
I know, right? But it was, yes, kudos to them for pulling that off, because the moment that I even saw one figure, I was already creeped out, let alone when like 20 of them come out of the forest, which, why is there a random forest surrounding this hospital?
It's in the middle of nowhere, Lee.
But, yes, creepy. Great job on that fact.
All right.
What's your number 5, Jesse?
My number 5, the credit song. I'm a sucker for old-timey music used for creepy and or ironic effect, and this one is no different. Even though it's a fake old-timey song recorded for this movie, the song itself has a long history, so I can't be too mad about that. It does a good enough. It's a sound-alike. It sounds like a 20s or so recording. And it's a song that definitely is that old, older than that, I think, even. So I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
That.
All right. It does kind of set up the vibe. Like,
it does.
What's going on here?
Yeah, no, it lends it's like a religious song, but it's like, oh gosh, but when you refer to like as this, it's like, oh man, okay, it adds a whole new dimension to what's going on there. So, yeah.
All right, well, my number 4 is the way how, and he is not titled, I don't know his name. I even looked it up on IMDb, and he's just the son. One of the characters who randomly gets into the hospital, he was slashed, I'm guessing, by the cult somehow, and his vocal cords were removed.
He can't answer you. Sure.
But that actor, he does not speak in this entire movie, and kudos to him, because I fell for just his emotions. He is able to somehow convey really act, because it's not him, but convey his character's emotions to other people through his eyes, through his movements. I just felt for him. It was one of those things where it's like, man, you've had a loss. And not just from the vocal cords, but it's like, you've seen some things, haven't you?
Yeah.
He was a phenomenal actor. So just even for watching him alone, it was enjoyable.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
What's your number 4, Jesse?
My number 4, flares. I'm also a sucker for quality flare use, and this movie has it in spades. The red glow, just too perfect, and it works great with the practical effects and stuff. It illuminates enough while also hiding stuff too. Like it just all around, like the kind of the inconsistent glow of it is just good for unsettling stuff, and yeah.
I love a good flare work, only because flares are supposed to be, your last thing, save me, an alert of that you're here. But flares, when used correctly, can be deadly as well.
Yeah, I like the flare work.
No, I enjoyed it too. I completely agree.
Yeah. Leah, what's number 3?
All right, my number 3 is the setting. So, not the hospital itself, the upper part looks like a regular hospital, but there is another setting where it's almost like a weird maze. You don't know where you're at. You're still technically in the hospital. It does follow along with the story, and I don't want to give too much away, but it made you feel confused. Not confused about the movie, but just like you were stuck in a maze with these people. What is going on? What is this? Why is it so dingy and dark? Like, oh, then you learn something about the hospital, and you're like, okay, is this all in someone's head? They did a very good job at leaving it.
Is it like the Ghostbusters temple on the roof thing?
Yeah.
Where that stairwell was in Dana's apartment the whole time?
Yeah, you don't really know, but the look of it all was just like you still had the feel of this is very unsettling.
Yeah, and it felt like it was a legitimate part of the hospital for a while.
That's what I thought too. Like they did a good job.
There's wires hanging down and like infrastructure that's like this is an actual part of the building.
Yeah, they did a good job at like being like, okay, so is this real, or are they like seeing it in their mind, but they're still in a real setting? So there's ties to a hospital, but other things that would in no way be in the hospital be there. It was just. They did a great job. They did a great job at making you.
There were parts of it that were obviously illusion.
Yeah. But then there were other parts where you weren't sure. Yeah, exactly.
Flare work illuminated the reality.
So see, this will always carry a flare with you. Is what.
Good flare work, Leah. It's all about the good flare work.
All right, Jesse, what's your number 3?
All right, my number 3. The practical effects. It's so ooey gooey and gnarly. And if you like John Carpenter's The Thing or Alien or anything like that, you will likely dig this stuff. Some crazy creature work.
Yes.
I mean, just some gushy blood and gore and viscera and stuff.
Yes, the
tentacles.
Tentacles. The creepy factor of these monsters, or that you see, these creatures that you see that end up popping up, is very,
It's great.
It's great.
It's so unsettling.
It is very unsettling. But yeah, I want to say
quality work.
I want to say unsettling in the best way, but that doesn't sound right.
I mean,
but like,
when you watch this movie, you don't want it to be cuddly and cute.
No.
Like you want it to be like, oh gosh, like this is otherworldly and like unnatural and like
what is going on here? What are these things? Yes, this movie. I mean, I feel like all of my notes end in a question mark because it was literally just like, what is this? What is happening? What is that? What's going on?
I love the craftsmanship of it though. Like it's so cool to see what people put together like with their own hands. Like not nothing against CGI, because I mean all that is also crafted by hands and run through a computer and stuff. It's just not. It's really less common these days to see these really cool practical like latex and whatever. Props and puppets and things, and it's just really cool that they did that.
Yes, I agree. I completely
agree. If you enjoy that kind of thing, this movie's got you covered. All right, Leah, what's your number 2? My
number 2 kind of goes along with you. It's actually the gross, not for faint of heart, gore and costuming effects. So I have, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Don't know if you guys are too, but I don't want to give anything away, but the flayed man has nothing on, like, Game of Thrones has nothing on the flayed man. That's all I want to say. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away.
It's Hellraiser-y what they do with that particular character.
Well, just there's so many filleted parts in this movie, and like they did it so well, where you can see the muscles and the tissues and like just down to all
flayed and filleted.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
At first I was like, wait, he said flayed, I think, but then he said something, he said filleted, and I'm like, I guess, sure, yes, and yes.
Yes to both. But it's I can't even put it into words. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but just all of the costuming, all of the effects, all of the makeup effects, it was just top notch.
That's those things where even if like with gore, the way I look at it is like I look at it as like the technical side of things, of just like the work that goes into it. So if you can like think it's going to be too scary or whatever, but you still want to try it. I mean, just think about it in terms of just like, oh my gosh, like they built these really cool puppets and rigs, and they did the skin and they put it on people and things, and and the movements and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, a lot of work went into it, and it's so cool to like see what they're able to do with that stuff.
Exactly. And like my thing, it had to have been more of the makeup artists,
Sure.
in terms of like
Yeah, because you have to do life casts of people and things.
And it's just every little detail is taken into account for. Like every little, and I'm not trying to be gross because whenever I speak this jargon, it kind of grosses me out too, but like every tendon, every ligament, like you see it all. And it was superb. Like, kudos to
and it's hard to do that and make it look
them.
good, and they made it look great.
Absolutely.
Like, I didn't question it at all.
Absolutely. Like, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
That's right. Cool.
All right. Number 2, Jesse.
All right, my number 2. The mood and the cosmic horror vibe of the whole thing.
Yes.
It is so disconcerting. The cloaked and hooded figures, the otherworldly landscapes, the hellish monsters, and so much more. I mean, the music and sound effects, the sound design, I mean, just like the tones and the everything, just everything works together so well. Probably the best original take on Lovecraftian themes that I've ever seen. I mean, this isn't based on a story, it's an original work, and it just is phenomenal in that regard.
I completely agree with you. From like the start of this movie, it was just like, okay, buckle your seatbelt, you're on for this weird ride that may be confusing, you don't know what's going on, but it does.
And sometimes it's better because then you have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, to wonder, like, what is that or what does it mean?
And it still does semi-sum up. Like,
it does.
You know what I mean? Like, whenever I say that, I'm scared that people are going to think, like, you won't get closure. You do get some form of closure.
I felt closure. It's just one of those things where not necessarily knowing how all the relationships work necessarily. I mean, some of that was a little frustrating, but not enough to take you out of the movie.
No.
Like, it's just fun stuff to talk about and like have headcanon about later. Just like.
Well, I also feel like this is what would happen in real life. In real life, not every story is perfectly tied up with a bow, and you know,
and not everyone's got the same perspective or knowledge about things.
Yeah, and this movie definitely made you think, and it had me on the edge of my seat the entire time because I had no clue. I mean, I knew what was going on. I'm not saying it like that, but like I had no clue what was going to happen next. What new thing is going to be around the corner? What is going to happen to these characters who you form this weird bond with? And yeah.
And sometimes you might feel as lost as the poor nurse intern.
Yes. Miss Knives Cho from
Scott Pilgrim?
Scott Pilgrim, yep, she was Knives.
Oh, she was?
Yes.
That's fun. See, look, if you like Scott Pilgrim, The Void.
There it is.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, there's some otherworldly things that happen in Scott Pilgrim.
There's got to be a Venn diagram of somewhere. It might be a small overlap of The Void and
but
Scott
it's there.
Right. Do you think that's you? There you go. All right, Leah, what's your number 1 reason to watch The Void?
I'm going to say because I said so. The Void is just, it's one of those movies where I feel like you really do need to sit down and watch it and you'll enjoy it. It leaves you pondering. It leaves you thinking about just the movie, almost about life in general and random people that you know. I did for me at least.
Okay.
And then just take in the beauty of the movie. Even though it is gross and gory at some points in time, you see these weird creatures that are just give you the shivers. But just like Jesse was saying before, if you really look at it in terms of people created this, people created this setting, people created those effects, people created the costuming, it is top notch. Like they did a phenomenal job at making you be fully immersed into this world and feeling like that you are there.
And it's really well shot.
It is. It's beautiful for, I want to say it's like beautiful for the eyes, but then again, it's not sometimes.
It is, but I mean, it's like the movie The Revenant, right? I mean, that movie has so many ugly, violent, awful things happening, and then just beautiful, starry
scenery.
landscape shots. And I'm just like, is this a nature documentary? What's going on? But it's like there's so much beauty in the midst of all this carnage and madness.
Yes,
and
exactly. Exactly. So what's your number 1 reason, Jesse?
Because I said so. I put off watching this movie for way too long. So don't make the same mistake that I did and watch this one at the soonest opportunity if it sounds like something you'd enjoy. I mean, it isn't for everyone, but it's a treat for those who don't mind a wild cosmic ride.
Completely agree. So yeah.
Cool.
I still think it might be a tie.
I think we're tied again.
One of these days.
I'm going to win.
One of these days. I'm going to have another Swamp Thing triumph.
Well, hopefully we both won you over to the side of watching The Void. So for those are reasons to check out The Void. So head on over to Hoopla. Check it out for yourself. For Live Grindhouse, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.